I want to continue this discussion of identity with this theme of asking questions and seeking answers. The mind wants certainty. We want to really know something, but we also, at the same time, need to acknowledge that in any ultimate sense, the mind cannot know anything. The mind says cup, but it really doesn't tell us much about this. All it does is it describes the function we apply to this object. So, to some extent, the label is convenient, but it doesn't talk about its color, its feel, its weight, the clay that it comes from. This comes from the earth. This is a piece of earth in my hands. It doesn't talk about the people who made it. It doesn't talk about my feelings about the cup. I really like this cup, or I don't particularly care for this cup. I don't like the color. It doesn't involve the relationship between me and the cup. It doesn't talk about the fact that I need to wash this cup because I used it for coffee this morning. The mind can only do the most simple labeling, yet we ask it these extremely profound questions. It can't even tell us what this is. All it can do is label it. So the very place where we seek answers is the very place where we will never find them. And that's why I said that there are no answers to our questions. We might as well just ask the wall. I might as well ask this cup, who am I? I'm listening for an answer. I don't hear anything. Who am I? So what the takeaway here is the mind wants certainty, and certainty is the one thing it can never have. So if we know that, if we really know that, where does that leave us? It leaves us with this, does it not? Also, let's pretend, split yourself in two now. One of you is that part that wants certainty. Who is that person? Imagine you knew someone who always wanted to be certain. I need to know what the weather's going to be. I need to know exactly what this will be. I need to know how you're going to respond to me. I need to know this and that. I need to know. Do you feel the aggression there? Do you feel the violence? Do you feel the ambition? And on a deeper level, do you see the self-contempt? That which always wants certainty, that which always demands answers, that which pounds against this invisible wall, the mind itself, is an extremely aggressive, divisive force. I, me, I want this. I need to know. I, me, I, me. It goes on and on. It's a brutalizing force in the world. And we just not see it from individuals. We see it from countries. America is certain about terrorism. We know that terrorists are our enemies. We know we need a huge defense department. We need to know that, the rich can guide us. And we need blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. It's just, your questions are bullshit. I hate to say that. Your identity is based on bullshit. Now, how does that feel? When you really realize that, when you realize all this sound and fury signifying nothing, words of Shakespeare, I wish they were mine, but they're not. Where does that leave us? This goes back to that central thing. If we can't have certainty, what do we have? And we have this. And what is this? What is this now that everybody's talking about? What is it? See, now again, looking like I'm looking for certainty, but I'm not. Because this now is before the mind thinks about it. That is so important to realize. The now is before we think about it. When we are thinking about stuff, we're seeking certainty. I need to know what this is. I'm thinking about this cup. I need to know. But the cup is just as it is before we think about it. And that is the way it is with every single thing in our universe. With our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our husbands and wives, our apparent lives. They all are before we think about it. But this identity won't have any part of that. See, that's not fun. That's not exciting. That's not interesting. I need to have that energy. Well, why not allow that energy to be? Do we really have any choice in the matter? Who would choose? Does not this question occur also as part of the now? But we can observe our psychological identity in the process, simply as the ground of this now, this beingness that is here. I'll tell you where this leads me. This is just me speaking here. I'm not talking for you, and I'm not trying to teach you, and I'm certainly not trying to give you any advice. It leaves me with the desire for peace and happiness. Truly it does. It wants me to live in a world that I know is diverse and full of colors and tastes and sounds. It leaves me loving feeling. And the feelings I love most are those that positively energize me, that just make me and others feel good. I know that when I'm with another person and I make them feel bad for some ego-derived purpose, that I'm certainly I'm demanding chaos into my life. And unless I love chaos, that's not what I want. See, what life does, it gives you exactly what you need at the time you need it. And that's what this now is. It's a constant and persistent wake-up call to wake up from the very deep psychological trance of that self that demands certainty. So when you ask yourself the perennial spiritual question, who or what am I? It demands a certain answer, an answer it can never get from the mind. And that is what I'm trying to say. Look at this combination of demand for certainty and ambition. We're trained to be this way. We are awarded to be this way by our parents, by our schools, and by our employers. Our very culture is built on a foundation of obedience to these values. They're considered normative. Religion does exactly the same things. It makes us violent, ambitious people. It makes us turn against ourselves. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make yet another video about how we turn against ourselves. And this is something you simply do not see in hunting and gathering cultures. You simply don't see this psychological identity. These cultures have no religion. They have no word for obedience. They have no word for punishment. I worked for many years with the Navajo Nation. The Navajo language, which is very alive and well today, there's Navajo television, Navajo radio, people in Navajo homes speak in Navajo. The language has no word for religion. It has no word for punishment. The words don't exist. What does that tell you? Also, curiously, there's no word for love. Romantic love, as you and I might conceive of it. It has other ways for saying that. And those ways of saying love are this. The word is this. Okay? It's one word. It means being in good relations. It's not about me, and it's not about you. It's about us. And isn't that the way to peace, harmony, and balance? You, me, you and others, the world together, it's about us. And when we are in balance, when we are in harmony, we're having a good time. So thanks for watching. I hope this was meaningful to you. Observe that demand for certainty. Observe that ambition that underlies it. And then observe the psychological identity that undergirds both of ambition and the demand for certainty. It's all of a piece. And the now, living this now, frees us of that. Because the now includes all of this. And there's no place where you can draw a dividing line. Thank you again for watching.